Right lads, welcome to the round 13 review. So pretty solid week. Scored 1909, which is around average. Team values at 16.76 mil, which is down because we have 500k in the bank. So massive upgrades this week coming. And then around 13 rank of 2012, so around average. And we slid down one spot, which is a bit unfortunate, but we're 9th now, so still top 10. My aim is to get top 3 for the end of the season. We'll see if we can do it. We should be able to. Although I don't think we'll be coming first because he's got a massive lead and it looks like he knows what he's doing. He's also got Darcy Parish, so I don't think that we're going to be beating him. But I'll talk about my trades. Really happy with my trades actually. I bought an Armatory, Newcomb and Kelly. Probably the best trades I made all season. Traded out Warner, Collie Dawkins and Ridley. Ridley was in some really poor form, so we decided to trade him out. Didn't look like getting back into touch. Collie Dawkins was omitted and he was shocking anyway, so we decided to trade him. And Chad Warner is maxed out in price. He slid down a bit, but he was injured, so we had to trade him out. Bought an Armatory, who had a solid debut and backed it up really well. Newcomb, not too heavy on these 170k rookies. I don't like bringing them in, but Newcomb was an exception because of what he had done in the VFL, I think it was. He had really good numbers, and he was playing that inside mid role, so we brought him in 170k, and he didn't disappoint as well. And then Josh Kelly, it was either him or Whitfield, but I was pretty keen on Josh Kelly just because of his midfield role. I really like players who play inside, so we brought him in over Whitfield, and that was a good decision. And like I said, one of the best trades I've made this year, one of the best trading rounds. So really happy with my trades. In terms of our captain, we were going to go Josh Kelly, but I think overall we were always going to go Tim Taranto. I had it on Kelly for majority of the week, but I said that Tim Taranto was the safer option. And yeah, Kelly was the highest scorer for the round with the 152, so a bit unfortunate. We lost a couple points here, especially captaining Gawn over Kelly. But that's fine. Gawn was amazing as captain, so I'm not complaining. But in terms of defense, Mills, pretty standard stuff from him, 113. If you don't have him, look to buy him after his buy round. Along with Lloyd, he's also another good option. Personally, I don't think I'll be touching Jake Lloyd this season. My backline's pretty much set, so I don't think we'll be bringing in Jake Lloyd this year unless we absolutely need to. Aaron Hall, 133. He looked really good. He loves a 1-2, even a 3-4. North always give it to him whenever he wants it, so he's probably the number 1 forward defender this year. And he looks absolutely amazing. I think he'll average around 120 for the rest of the season. He looks like a great pick. Jack Crisp, a bit under, 72. Not a great effort from him, but considering he played in Melbourne, I'll let it slide. But if he had turned up, I would have probably been like 5th instead of 9th, so a bit unfortunate. Jack Crisp, low ownership, only like 11%, so it's a bit hard to cop that 72, but it's fine. I'm sure he'll bounce back. 88 from Tom Stewart, that was solid. I think he's your 80s man. He's going to score 80 every week for you, so if you want a reliable player, Tom Stewart's your option. Kosicki, 44, dropped a bit in price, but that's fine. And then Highmore was probably my plus 3 this week. 110 out of nowhere. Who would have thought Tom Highmore would have dashed at a 110, so really good stuff from him. Doherty, Hind had their buy, so defense overall was pretty solid, apart from Jack Crisp. In terms of my midfield, like I said, put the VC on Tim Taranto, so I'm not too happy with that decision. But he still managed to turn up, so I'm happy with Taranto's output this season. He's been really good. Mitchell, 125, bounced back really well, so he's a bit of a rollercoaster this year, but I think you take the good with the bad, so I like him, Tom Mitchell. He's got a ceiling. He's a great player, so he should be good for the rest of the season. Laird, 121. I don't know how he got to this score. He was looking like he was going to dash at another 80, but he managed to have a huge last quarter and a third quarter, I think it was. And he got a 121, so big score from him. James Jordan, last game for me, and he delivered 78 from, I think it was 57% time on ground. So I don't know what's going on down at Melbourne with Simon Goodwin giving his players 50% time on ground, but yeah, he played 30 minutes less than Christian Petrarca, which is basically a quarter. So he's missed out on a quarter of footy that he could have played, and he could have potentially scored another 30 points. But yeah, I think they just love him sitting on the bench doing nothing, and it annoys me as a coach because he could have definitely scored a 110 if he had played like 80% time on ground, but nah, they decided to play him half a game. But it's fine. Burns, 54, pretty average. Time to trade him out. He's been really good though. Bianco, 33. Not too sure what happened with Bianco. I'm not too sure if he stays in the side, to be honest. He might get dropped this week. Next week. We'll have to wait and see. Newcomb 87 was really good. Most tackles on debut for any player, so he's breaking the record, and his job security is through the roof. So great pickup. I like him as an option if you don't have him already. He hasn't got his buy, so great option. And then Lazaro didn't play, so a bit unfortunate. And McRae, Walsh had their buy. And then Rucks were amazing this week. Darcy, my God, for someone who was meant to be out for weeks, I looked at the team sheets, turns out he wasn't out, scores me a 132, so really good stuff from Sean Darcy. Massive last quarter, I think it was 60 points in the last quarter, so shows that he has the capabilities of scoring huge. And then Gawn as captain was wonderful, 119. I'm not complaining with that, but could have been a lot better if we captained Kelly. Zeeble, 91, pretty standard from him. Hall definitely affects his scoring, so he's not going to be dashing out those 150s like he did at the start of the year with Hall on the side, but he's still a 90s man, so he's a great pickup, and I'm really happy with Jack Zeeble this year. Josh Kelly, 152. He's also been really good. For his first game, he was really good. And he's been really good this whole season, so we should have probably picked him up a bit early, but I'm glad I hopped on when he scored a 150. Always a good feeling when a player scores 150 on debut. And then 92 from Armatry was also really good. So I think I started off the round really well with Armatry and Newcomb both dashing out really good scores. So Armatry was really good. His job security looks through the roof. Should definitely hold a spot. Playing that ruck high up forward role, so he's attending a couple contests, but he's also playing up forward, and he's looking really well up forward. So I think I'll back him in to score at least a 70 every week. Porter, 67, a bit down on as usual, but still got the job done. 67, pretty solid score from a rookie. Rao, time to move him on. 53, solid score, but it's time to move him on. And Brockman didn't play, so a lot of dead weight here, like Lazaro, Brockman, as well as McRae, who could have all played, but they didn't. Robertson and Merritt had their bye as well, so overall, pretty solid score this week. Could have been a lot better if we captained Kelly, like I said, but I'm happy with it, and I'll definitely take it. In terms of trades this week, triple upgrade, absolutely keen. So James Jordan and Rao and Burns are all going for me this week, 100%. They've all got their buy, and they've all maxed out in cash. So Jordan to Langford's probably confirmed, and then Burns to Whitfield's definitely confirmed. The Rao to the 170k guy, I'm hoping that a 170k rookie's named. That's already had his buy, so be fresh to go. And hopefully there is a good rookie that's named. If it's a 170k that average like 40, I'm probably not going to be picking him up. But if it's a 170k that average 70 plus, I'll definitely look to pick him up. But at the moment, in terms of rookies that have had their buy, it's really dry, apart from Newcomb. So I'm not too sure who we're going to be bringing in, but hopefully a 170k rookie gets named. And we'll trade him for Rao. And then this last trade, I'm not too sure on at the moment. Lockie Neal is a bit unproven, but he's well on the price, 729k. And then Poulter, I don't want to trade out Poulter because he's still got a lot of cash generation left in him. Although I think that if we want to get a premium in this week, we have to trade out Poulter. The other option we could do is trade out Finlay McRae to Matt Rowell. But like I said, Matt Rowell is also unproven, as well as Lockie Neal. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to be doing with this last trade. Whether I hold Poulter or not is undecided. But yeah, that's how my team's looking like at the moment. The structure's looking pretty well. After this round, we'll have all 6 in defence. We'll have a full midfield, and we'll have 2 full ruckmen. It'll just be those 3 rookies we have to get in our forward line. So our team's looking really set. And I'm pretty sure those last 3 forward spots probably go to like a Dane Zorka, I'm thinking. Maybe a Dustin Martin, I'm not too sure. I'm thinking Dane Zorka at the moment. I'm not too sure who the last one will be. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's how our team's looking like at the moment. In terms of captaincy this week, put the VC and McRae. He hasn't scored under 100 this whole year. Plays Geelong, although it's a pretty tough matchup. I think McRae thrives on tough matchups. He plays really well when he plays tougher opponents. So I'm expecting like a 120 for McRae. I haven't checked his history against the Cats, but I know that McRae plays really well against tough opponents, so I think he should be good. And then if that doesn't go too well, we'll captain Tom Mitchell, who plays Essendon. Essendon give up a heap of points to midfielders, so I like Tom Mitchell as a captain option. But yeah, that's how our team's looking like at the moment. Pretty solid in terms of structure. We'll have about 19 playing this week, 19 or 18, so it's not too great, but should be fine. And in terms of trade targets, a couple players you want to be looking at. I do like Mitch Duncan, even though he came off that 70. I think he's still well underpriced. Probably wait one more week on him before hopping on. He's got a high break even, so he's still a great option. Dangerfield's really underpriced, although he's a bit unproven. Langford, like I said, who I brought in, he's been playing midfield the last couple of weeks, so he's a decent option. Darcy Parish, if you can afford him, I would definitely go him. He's a great player. He's probably the number one midfield the way he's playing at the moment. He looks really, really good. And Bontempelli is also a bit of a smoky option that you might want to consider. If you don't have Doherty, Walsh, they're also pretty good options. I'm just trying to think of players that have come off their bye, and yeah, there's not much because there was only 4 teams that have their bye. But Doherty, Walsh, like I said, Merritt if you don't already have him. Parish, Mitchell's also a good option if you don't have him. Zeeble, Hall, I think everyone has them. Took Miller's also a bit of a unique. And yeah, Mitch Duncan, like I said. But those are just a couple options for you to consider. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.